So active versus inactive relationship. There are, these are the two types of table relationships in Power BI Desktop. You should be aware of it. Okay. Uh, Consider a scenario something like this. So in this sales table, we have two date columns: ship date, order date. Okay. When you connect both of them, so this is my date table. Okay, this is a calendar. Calendar is nothing but your date table. So you will have date ID and the year, month, quarter, all these informations will be there. This is also a dimension table. So since you have more than one date columns are there, so date with date only you need to create a relationship. In the case of dimension, date dimension, you need to make sure that the date key column or date with your date column in your fact tables date columns. But here we have more than one date column is there. So I just created the relationship between these two tables. Now, three date, order date, right? This is mistakenly I mentioned it. Okay, you can ignore this one. Okay, order date, right? So let me just or else I'll just, as you said, I will just make it due date, something like that. Three date columns are there. Yes, let's go by three date columns. If you have more than one date column, so in that case obviously you need to create the relationship between these two tables, right, with three links. You need to have three relationships. Supposing you want to find out the total sales amount by order date, then you need to have a relationship between the date and order date. Let's say you have another scenario wherein you want to see the total sales by ship date. Then you need to have a relationship between these two. There is another scenario wherein you want to see the total sales by due date. So you need to create a relationship. In real-time scenario, between the tables, right, or between the tables, you may need to create more than one relationship like this. Okay, if you try to create more than one relationship in Power BI, what happens is it will consider only one relationship as an active relationship. Whichever relationship you created first, that one will be considered the active relationship. Other one will be considered as a inactive relationship. The inactive relationship, you can see it with the dotted arrow. We can create more than one relationship between the tables, but you can have only one active relationship between the tables. See, only one. So this is an active relationship. This is inactive. And you assume that same dashed line is happening here also, due date. So in that case, the question is, so what is active relationship? Now the question is, what is active relationship? What is inactive relationship? Okay. So you can also change the active relationship as an inactive relationship just by clicking the edit relationship. So if you go here, you can click on this. If you click on this, this nothing but edit relationship. You can change the relationship. Okay. Active relationship. Look here. The same example I put it here. Calendar. What I do is I recreate it one more time. And I just remove this one here. Here in this table, This is calendar table. This I have created using a DAX function. Look here, I just go to I switch over to the data view, and if you click on the calendar, you can see here I have used a DAX function called calendar function. Calendar, within the parenthesis I mentioned the minimum order date, maximum order date. So you are not supposed to hard code it, but anyhow, for illustration purpose I hard coded it. Instead what we can do is the minimum of the column, minimum of your order date. Column name you can directly specify it. Okay, so that will be very dynamic, because later point in time when you add more orders in your order table, obviously the order end date, the maximum order end date will change. You need to come and manually change it. That is not the best practice. Instead you can use max. At this moment you just concentrate. So how I created the calendar, minimum date and maximum date, I mentioned it here. Look here, so it created a column. This function returned a date value like this, right? So the data, it returned a date column, something like that. So 3rd March 2021, it creates the dates sequentially till 12/12/2022. If you go down here, 12/12/2022. So I just created. So this is one of the rule that you need to remember it. When you create a date table, make sure that your date values are stored sequentially, even though you don't have any transaction in between. For example, 10th March, let's assume that 10th March, 15th March were holidays, but still I need to store the date value sequentially. And next I created a column by the name of, once the calendar function gives this one, next you can extract year alone from this column. Look here, I mentioned the column name is year. On the right side of this equal sign, I used a function called year. Inside the year function, this is a calendar, right? So I have given the name as calendar, right? So the table name is calendar. In the calendar table, date column, from the calendar table date column, you extract year. Look here, extracted year only, 2021. And similarly month, if you want to extract month, you put month here. From this date column, it will extract month only, in month in numbers. And if you want to display the month in some text, right? So you need to use a different command called format function, calendar date. From this date column you extract M, right? So first letter will be your capital letter of your month, and rest of them, right, three digits, three letters will be selected. If you want only 2, you can specify 3 it gives you this one. And the next one is quarter. Quarter is a function, pretty straightforward. Extract only this. So the 3rd March belongs to first quarter. And if you look here, and if you click on this one, you will find true and all, right? So I just want to show you this one, true. You look here, 2 years. So June is obviously second quarter. So now what I'm going to do is, without fail, I'm going to select everything. This is how I create a calendar or date dimension. Okay. So next what I did, I just created the relationship. I want to create the relationship calendar. I want to use my calendar table date column to filter the order date. So drag and drop this one. Now the relationship got created. So if I keep the cursor here, the date and order date for these two columns the link got created based on these two columns, between these two tables. Okay, I have another date column here. I just drag and drop here. If you notice it closely, you should be able to understand that you should be able to create more than one relationship, but whichever the relationship that you created between the tables first time, that one will be considered the active relationship. The active relationship if you see it here, right, it is in the solid line. The solid line represents active relationship. The dashed line represents inactive relationship. So now you are still unclear. So what is active relationship? Why it is the solid line? Why the other one is? So that means this is inactive relationship. Still, Power BI allows you to create more than one relationship, but at a time you can create only one active relationship between the table. The active relationship, what it does is, it propagates the filter to other tables. The inactive relationship, however, it only propagates filters when you use a DAX function. We have something called use relationship, right? You can do it. So, okay, what I will do is, see, in simple term, the active relationship, pass the filter, whereas the inactive relationship, it doesn't pass filtering. It doesn't do anything by itself. So in that case, the inactive relationship needs a special treatment to work. There are two treatments. There are two different approaches are available to enable your or activate your inactive relationship as active relationship. The first approach is you can use role playing dimension. The second approach is you can use the DAX function called use relationship. This is a DAX function. Two approaches, but in the case of role playing dimension, you need to create a duplication of the table, the calendar table, okay? And you need to link it, okay? So the other approach is don't create multiple tables, instead use the DAX function to activate this inactive relationship till the expression gets evaluated in your DAX. Okay, don't worry, I will, when I demonstrate, you will be able to understand. Okay, so what is inactive relationship, what is active relationship? Okay, for example, if I go to the here, right, so what I'm going to create another table here. The calendar, what I am going to do is I am going to use something called quarter, and each quarter what is the sales. Each quarter what is the sales, that is what we can see it here. Okay, and for example, if you want to see some category, right, some meaningful thing, you can category wise, quarter wise, category wise breakdown, sales breakdown, you can see it like this. And in quarter one, 4 different category, we made this much of sales. In quarter two, we made like this, right, all the 4 quarters, you can see it here. So here the date, in the calendar dimension table, right, the quarter table, so the quarter is coming from this calendar dimension. This quarter, using this quarter, we are filtering the sales amount in the fact sales, and also, right, we are filtering the category also, right, it does the filtering automatically. So total sales amount by category, by quarter, by order date. The active relationship is order date. Now I wanted to see what is the total sales amount by shipped date. So how can I do that? Here, since there is an active relationship exists between these two columns, date and order date, so by default this one, sales amount by order date, let's say that way, okay? And I want to see the sales amount by this one also, shipped date. So what I do is, I just, in this case, I'll have to create a DAX function, because you cannot use this inactive relationship only when the active relationship, but default one is active relationship. By default, since you have the active relationship between the date column and the order date, it did the total sales by order date. Now I need to see the total sales by shipped date. So in that case, I need to activate the inactive relationship temporarily, till I obtain the total sales amount by shipped date. So what I am going to do is, I am going to, any of you don't worry, we have a separate session for, dedicated session for DAX. There I am going to cover it again, and so you just watch it what I am doing now. Go to the modeling tab and you just click on the new measure. So look here, we can see measure here. I am going to give some meaningful name. Sales by shipped date. Measure. Here I am going to use something called calculate function. Sum of sales amount comma use relationship. There is a built-in function called use relationship. So here what I am going to, calendar date, and I am going to say calendar date comma date, or simply date comma, here I am going to say the fact sales order date, shipped date. That's it. So what I am saying here is, find out the total sales by shipped date. That is what I am doing actually here. Okay. Here, since the date column in your calendar table and the ship date in the fact sales table having inactive relationship, I am using the use relationship function. I am going to activate it. I am going to activate the inactive relationship using use relationship. Use relationship function, you cannot use it directly. Hence, I am using calculate function. But anyhow, we need to find out the total sales, right? By shipped date. Okay, now I just pressed enter. That DAX query is getting executed now. Done. So what I am going to do is, this newly created measure, I am going to drag and drop it here. So here in the calendar table, so look here, right? So here sales by shipped date, right? So measure. So I just select this one. This is the one we created. This one you will find it on the right side. Sorry, you need to first select this visual, and then you need to okay, this is the problem. Okay, look here, it shows more or less same value, right? So what I am going to do is, for the time being, I will remove the category here. And let me just check with the other report. Because it's all depends. Yeah, category we can use it here. It's a category, and yeah, we will use the category, only then we can find out the difference. I just select this one. I just move this up. If you want to move the column from here, don't worry, we will see everything as part of data visualization, that also. At this moment, understand the concept. What is the difference between active and inactive relationship? So more or less it's all same only, right? Order date and shipped date, everything, but except the personal care. Shipped date. With the personal care in the fourth quarter, the sales amount by order date is this one. Sales amount by shipped date is this one. So you might be getting confused with what is sales amount by order date, what is sales amount by shipped date. Let's say you are ordering a product on Amazon website. Let's say in your case, you ordered the product and you made the payment on the same day. Right? The date when you ordered, the same day you made the payment using your credit card. Let's say I am going to order a product in the Amazon website. That's a different product, or maybe a same product. In my case, I am choosing cash on delivery. So only when the product gets shipped, the date of the shipment only I will be receiving the payment. Hence, the order date sales amount is different. Shipped date, see there are some customers, right, cash on delivery, which means the shipped date, the day when you ship it to the customer, they will pay it that day. Hence, there will be difference between sales amount and this one, but overall total will remain the same. Okay, if you add all the things, you will get the same thing, right? So hope you understood. There is a subtle difference here, and here we can see there is no sales here, and even quarter is also missing here. There is some blank record is there here. That's why it is not getting linked properly. I'll explain why we are getting blank later point in time. So now we are able to filter we are able to successfully activate the inactive relationship using the DAX function called use relationship. And here we don't have to do anything, simply drag and drop the sales amount, because sales amount, the order date column and the calendar table date column has an active relationship. Hence the filtering happens automatically. It doesn't require any treatment. But here, since it has an inactive relationship, we have to use the DAX function to activate it. So this is the one I want to activate it, temporarily, right? So till the total sales amount get computed, this one will become active. Once the computation is done, this one will become automatically inactive behind the scene. Got it? So we have another approach called role-playing dimension. That is what I was talking about, role-playing dimension. So, okay, what I will do is, for the sake of continuity, right, I will just continue for another 5 minutes and then I will wrap up. I know I promised only 1.5 hours. What we will do is, we will just okay, what we will do is, right, we will, because it will take some more time, we will continue in tomorrow's session. Okay, fine. So the role playing dimension will continue. It may not take more than 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so we'll finish it up tomorrow, and I will combine that also along with this one. That is my job. I will take care of it. As of now, whatever I covered, you just watch it without fail. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, since you don't have any questions, see, including this one, I will share it to you. So data model part1.pbx file, I'll upload it in our GitHub. Go ahead and download it. Try that exercise, the many to many, right? How to introduce the bridge table. With that bridge table, can I get the same output? You just give it a try. That is a simple assignment for you all. Okay, without fail, you can work on it. I will also upload it right away. So here there is some error is there. I will fix it and then I will upload it. So there are some, look here in the ship date column, some error, order date also some error is there. Okay, let me just delete it now itself. This is nowhere related. This is a previous error. You don't have to worry about this. Okay, and then I'll upload it. Fine. Okay. I'm going to end the session now since you don't have any questions.